Welcome back to my channel, Madden Backlog series. Today's Madden 24 video is EA's Gameplay First Look Part 1. Before we get too deep into this, please click the like icon, click the subscribe and notification icon so you will be informed when a new video has been posted. EA's First Look Gameplay. If you've already seen their video, then you will want to see this breakdown of what EA is distracting you from in their video. Yes, the commentary is made to focus your attention on one thing, while multiple issues are going on either away from the focus and sometimes in the vicinity of the focus. So please grab your favorite snacks as we are about to cover 12 of the 24 items in part 1 of this video. I'm leaving their audio in so you can see what I'm talking about. Now let's get started.
The God, to my left, we have Madden designer Spade hanging out with us. We got to do this last year remotely. We now get to do it in person. Spade, from a perspective of a designer, how much fun is this time of year as everybody is so excited to get Madden NFL 24?
It's crazy fun, man.
Let me explain the flaw. For me, it is not the coverage. It is about the lack of defensive line penetration. Do you see any X-Factor players on the defensive line? Yes. Chris Jones. How about the offensive line? No. So why is Chris Jones struggling one-on-one? Before you answer, you will notice this throughout the video. Take a look at Chris Jones versus an X-Factor right guard in Madden 23 present day since the Super Bowl. It is my ritual to play both Super Bowl bound teams before and after to recognize the boost the winner gets. So day 1, I will be in practice mode to see if this has been corrected, as it will be part of my Madden 24 release 5-minute check summary video. It will only be one video. I'm a little hesitant to talk about the coverage. You have two gamers who are supposedly upper tier, championship level gamers, right? But I'm surprised by the many errors I see throughout the video that they make. Is it because they aren't using MUT players or because they haven't had time to, as they say, lab the new exploits for this version of the game? Anyway, watch the pursuit after the catch. Remember, this is zero coverage, so everyone is man-to-man except the two linebackers who are blitzing. Watch him in pursuit up to just before the 10-yard line. Suddenly, he accelerates. There's that speed boost again. Then at the 5-yard line, he breaks off of his path as well as his speed. Now, as I said, it's hard to automatically say user control. I don't know what the gamer did at the time. Selecting a player should not stop whatever supposed intelligence is being used at that time for that particular player. It is just a selection. Manual control should not begin until you do something after you've made the selection, such as pressing a button, pressing a trigger, moving a joystick. Since they emphasized press coverage and this and that, will this flaw remain in the game? Will selected defensive backs and linebackers carry out their assignment until the user controls him via the joystick like the defensive line?
As the game lives, we want to be in tune with our players, and we want to be able to react swiftly if we can.
It's the faded two words, live service. That's what it is,
Live
right?
service, the gift.
See that play right there. We saw some of the new locomotion in the game. Those rat catches and passing to the flats and drag routes. It seems like it's just a whole lot smoother. They're not losing speed on those plays.
I will be testing this on day 1 to see if this is true. If they have resolved the spinning receiver in the flat and the swings, and the leading works on wheel routes and swings, then this will be marked as a fix and no longer a backlog issue.
Yeah, a big effort went into allowing receivers to maintain their momentum. I think if you played this game before, you've experienced a very frustrating moment where you see a receiver that's beat a defensive back.
As I pointed out on the first play of the game, this is still a problem with the game. To make the game seem as though it is better, they have these sudden bursts of speed that I call Matrix or Madden on ice, where the player just kind of slides over real quick to make a play. This defender should have never been there on this pass. Four verticals will be the pass play as usual. They still have not figured out how to defend against this, and that includes those that run across the field as well, those crossers. This should have been a score either on the right outside cornerback in the back corner of the end zone or left slot.
Seems like these zones are reacting quicker. Like they getting to the ball way faster.
Clef, you called it out. Like we tune zones. Obviously, zone rating is important here, but if these players can see the ball, we tuned it where they react faster. Not only did we tune it where they react to the ball faster, we made them more aggressive. In the past, oftentimes, if they were positioned behind the receiver, they were told to play the receiver. But this year, certain players, we're telling them to be more aggressive and play the ball. And the result is you're seeing guys fly down, make interceptions. You're seeing them make tackles at the catch point, and you're seeing a lot more knockouts as a result of it.
And so as a franchise guy where, ratings are the be-all, end-all, if I have a guy with a higher zone rating, he's going to react faster than somebody with a lower zone rating?
Absolutely. I mean, and you'll be able to see it. Like, this is not something you'll need to go back and
time
examine
it up to see
with
the
a microscope.
millisecond. Yeah,
you'll see it.
Zones getting to the ball faster is not the solution or the reason here. Zones playing their zone smarter is, and that is not the case here. When I hear the term tuning, it means the various ratings underneath are being adjusted and the result will unrealistically boost the player to the ball. This one, however, was thrown to the wrong spot.
and there's one of those knock.
Now, knockout animations
it, and instead of the players crossing field, you just would give that route, that seam route, you would give it to the receiver. And if you had some speed over there, it gave defenses fits. And it was a rather easy fix. That we just said, if you're going to flip the play, we're going to make the tight end cross the field. He's going to keep his route, and our video game defensive coordinators are going to sleep a whole lot better because of that change.
Just all your PA slot cross tight end fans, got some bad news for you. You're not going to be able to just manipulate that to the wide receiver gets the route you wanted. And you can already see the difference here, even just like in sort of a stock adjusted defense.
Oh my God.
The coverage was a lot better downfield.
Mm-hmm.
Flipping routes with tight end in the slot, no more? Why? Fake eye couldn't handle it? That is what they are telling you. You see, labbing is no excuse for a game supposedly with AI. Think about it. Flipping those routes. We are talking about routes here. Those routes being flipped should not confuse the defense. It might confuse the player who's trying to manually cover, but that's part of the game. I'll do a separate video on this topic because it goes much deeper than what I can cover for now.
I really like that change too because it takes away just one of the quick hike. You know, everyone complains about the quick hike, snap, audible. It takes away one of the most OP plays.
There is a more realistic way to take away the quick hike audible as well as the quick hike hot route.
And there you go. There's one of those zones dropping back. That was a play I think you were looking at a year or two ago. That ball would sail over his shoulder. You wouldn't, unless you were clicked on, you weren't making a play on that one. Yeah, obviously, you know, when we're talking about a new game, I think we tend to steer towards talking about the offensive changes because there are players want to do. They want to go score points. But I think it's important that, you know, the word I think you keep bringing up, and I think you're going to hear a lot throughout this video, is balance. It's for every offensive ad, we're giving something defensively that gives them a chance to counter that.
Right. And once the game gets in the hands of our players and they get a chance to lab, at some point, offense or defense is going to swing the pendulum in their favor. But it's a very tough job for us to try to balance, but we really put a lot of time and effort into trying to make sure there's something that counters everything.
This is not about some improvement in zones dropping back. He threw a bullet pass instead of a touch pass over the defender like you see weekly to running backs. Speaking of which, how many attempts at jumping to swat or intercept the ball do you see fail in this game? Now, when you watch your preseason games, look for that failure as you see passes thrown to running backs, maybe tight ends, might be corner routes or whatever, and the defender is behind them, and they jump up to swat the ball or intercept the ball, and it goes over the head. And it could be a completion or incomplete. It doesn't matter. But the key is, how many do you see fail in the real game versus Madden? 9 times out of 10, when you see them jump, it's going to be swatted or it's going to be intercepted. That's not real football.
Good knockout.
Great knockout.
Yeah, they breaking on that pass.
Yes, sir.
Knockout? Seriously? Number one, the receiver does something odd to make the catch. It looks like he may be running in place. You know, that Matrix Madden or Madden on Ice. Simply touching a receiver should not result in a knockout. The only way I can see this ball being knocked out is if he ghosted through with that one hand that tapped him in the back.
Catch animations, those catch windows. If you're up at home and you're like, I'm a runner, okay? I want to tote the ball. I want to pound the rock. The new and improved blocking schemes, I think, makes running a viable offense.
For sure.
Especially here in 24.
Yeah, a lot of improvements went into run. You're going to see some new pull blockers, if you want to run toss and those plays to get you outside. But I think the thing that I'm most excited about is our targeting. Like in the past, we had an issue where blockers would try to determine where the running back wanted to go. And that led to them just being
It's bad guessing
unpredictable.
game.
Yeah, like you didn't know where they was going to go.
I can see already run pursuit is going to be poor in this game. Too many times I see more of a horizontal pursuit to a running back who can easily get around you and just take it to the house, rather than them running more in a diagonal route where they could possibly catch up with the running back or make him turn back in where there may be some defenders to help.
This year, they're just very decisive. They get it in the open field, they target who they want to block, and they get action.
Oh, no. It's just...
Sliding jukes is not improved control or improved animations. Players should not slide to juke. It's that simple. But that is all I'm seeing. The problem they have with these jukes is there appears to be no ground contact. They have the video capture, but it's not properly implemented in the game. The key word that comes to mind is physics.
Like, man, what's happening to my receiver? So some effort went to letting those guys resolve that bump faster and get him back into his route.
It seems like when I pass commit, I'm getting like not super animations, but like I'm getting a much better pass rush animation. Like they really trying to rush the passer rather than just sit there and, play patty cake with it.
Yeah, if you...
Okay, you remove the route flipping, but you allow putting a player in motion, and while still in motion, you can hot route that player.
It's a run. They're going to go right into that pass rush assignment, which is going to allow them to shed blocks a bit faster. So I don't know if going to that play action is going to be the move this year.
Well, you saw right there, a defender behind the receiver went for a swat instead of playing the receiver, which is so refreshing to see.
It is, man.
The DB was beat with this double move right when he went from post to corner. You can see it. Yet there is the defensive back fully recovered to jump and automatically swat or intercept the ball. Part of the reason is it was a high bullet pass rather than, let's say, a lead outside with a touch pass. Is it me, or have most of, if not all of the passes been high bullet passes?
Gregory Russo making the play. They're former Miami Hurricane.
You know it.
I'm sorry, I had to give you the shot. I knew you were a Miami fan. So.
Goodness. What a
Gotcha.
break.
I appreciate it. Beautiful there. Got a high pass there, but moved, like you said, and able to react to a very big game. Knock that ball out.
Another knockout. But why the high bullet pass? It was wide open and no need to throw it high.
One also feels like when you're seeing the drops in those collisions, like it feels warranted.
Feels appropriate.
Because you had some of those drops last year where it would just be like a pretty light collision that
Right.
still drop it, or the push from behind collision. Now you're...
Another knockout. I'm still seeing that last minute burst to close the gap of separation. This should have been a score. I'm sorry.
I want this game to look and feel like football.
One of the things to, I think, take a note of as we're going through this game and we're seeing these guys, obviously these guys haven't labbed up what they're going to be playing this year. They're going around is a lot of credit to the playbook team, because last year, big cut down in plays. This year, it feels like we've added a bunch of plays, and there's a lot of new looks out there.
Every single team just got more content added in. Like you brought up, last year was an effort to reduce playbooks, try to get some of the clutter out.
As for the playbook team, we'll see once I get my hands on it. As a custom playbook user, I'm very curious. What will they provide and what have they deleted? more complementary plays is needed as well. Also, more plays is not all that is needed from the playbook team. Madden Playbook Editor upgrade is long overdue.
Some players were not happy with that reduction, and
That was
like you
nasty.
said, the playbook team came back. That might be something new as well.
That was nasty.
Get out.
We're talking about playbooks. We have the fake reverse jet sweep.
This fake jet, that's a sweep play, there's more sliding, there's more poor pursuit, there are more whiff tackles. And keep in mind, these are Madden championship players. So don't blame the user.
To the house. But yeah, that playbook team went crazy, man. Every single team has new stuff in it, and
Well,
you
I
get a
think
chance
Clef's
to laugh.
going to get the game and be like, all right, I got to lab against this
Oh,
wide
definitely.
receiver power fake jet. Like,
I went cross-eyed right there. I didn't know where the ball was going. We had some people going left, right. That was crazy.
I mean, that. By the way, that is quintessential NFL football these days. So much misdirection
Yep.
out there because these defensive players are so fast and powerful. You have to make them at least look the wrong
Got to
way.
fool 'em.
As we just saw there, like I'm really liking like just the creativity in this game. I remember like last in MCS, I was like the only one running. Like I ran like tight end jet sweeps and stuff, so I love stuff like that, honestly.
Oh, that's dope.
Seeing stuff like that.
One player mentioned like running a tight end jet sweep. Now, one of the plays I use gives me that option. The reason why that option exists is because when I flip the play, it does not flip the slotted tight end with the slotted wide receiver. However, with their change, if this is universal, where those players will still swap positions on the field, it will kill the creativity from the gamer.
I definitely think the stuff that's been done in playbooks this year, I would not be surprised to see some off-meta stuff. You're going to see
Yeah.
somebody in a
Make some
playbook
runs.
running some stuff you have flat out never seen work or never seen even be ran. We got
We got
toss plays working now.
working in Madden again?
Couldn't have queued it up any better. Toss plays. Like I said, the run game, this open field targeting is something that you can feel instantly. You're going to pick the control up, you're going to call a run play, and you're going to see those offensive linemen getting action.
It feel like they're not just running to empty grass. Like they actually getting to the next level and climbing and blocking people.
They definitely are. Now, I don't know if that was the same play.
Call this play again.
I was about to say, now let's talk about real-time AI adjustments. This is something that if the same run play is ran a number of times, and that number is going to vary depending on what difficulty you're on, but if you're running the same play over and over and over,
Look
what
at that
you're going to
linebacker
see,
in the run fit shot the gap on the
Exactly.
outside.
Defensive players in the run gap, in run fit, what you're going to see these guys do is they're going to leave read and react a lot faster. They're just going to shoot their gaps. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be a tackle for a loss. It doesn't mean that they're going to always blow the play
So it's
up.
not like 1988 games where like you ran the same play 3 times,
I just
automatic
got
TFL.
it. Right. But what you're going to see is a difference in their behavior.
Run AI. They tried to pull this one over on us, but I see what's going on here. Watch the linebacker on all 3 plays. The linebacker that makes the tackle on the 3rd try. Watch him on all 3 plays. Watch the tight end as well, number 88, on all 3 plays. AI is not what stopped the play. '88 was free to block that same linebacker on the 3rd run and chose not to. and so the running back was stopped. So it seems like in order to give you the idea of AI, it just dummied down the tight end blocking and the fullback blocking. That is going to do it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 that will cover the rest of EA Madden 24 gameplay first look video. Also, please make sure you help to get the word out by sharing this video. No monetization is involved here. I'll check back with you later.